I'm back, baby. I'm back. It's Detroit Damon in the house talking about the Detroit Lions draft for 2026. Now, in the last video, we went over the first 4 rounds because we didn't have a third rounder, so we went 1, 2, and 4. And I had us picking Caden Proctor in the first round, pick number 17, Colton Hood at pick number 50, and Danny Thomas Sutton at pick number 118. So we got an offensive lineman, a defensive end, and a cornerback. So we are almost covered for our needs. Now, the next set of needs we're going to take a look at are some that some of them might be luxury picks depending on what happens in free agency. So we're going to do this assuming that we're losing Anzalone, assuming that we might lose David Montgomery, and the assumption of that we may need a better blocking tight end. And speaking of tight ends, this would be a good time to pick a tight end right here at round 5. However, I think that the tight ends at the top of the draft are more receivers than blockers. Even the bigger ones, 240, 250, they're more receivers than they are blockers. So drafting that high when you have Laporta might not be the best bang for your buck. So with that being said, I have the Lions picking with pick number 155, round 5, Harold Perkins, linebacker, LSU. Now, Harold Perkins is a little bit undersized linebacker. He's a will linebacker, 6'2", 222. He's a 23-year-old out of the Louisiana State University, LSU. He runs a 4.45. The thing about Mr. Perkins, about Harold Perkins, is that he possesses elite speed, sideline to sideline, which is what you want for your will linebacker. And like I said, with Nick Umuare, he played like kind of a star role, like a third safety. And that's something I think that the NFL is kind of leaning toward with these tight ends who are tall, these tight ends who are fast, these running backs who are fast. And this guy can do all that, and he can rush the quarterback. He's got a couple sacks. His cons are he's kind of light, and he doesn't have the power to disengage from blockers or in his pass rush. He's a speed rusher only. And that there's a time and place for that. His coverage and his play against the run is excellent. And they say he's one of the fastest guys on the team. And, LSU's got some fast dudes. So he's also got a natural bend when he does rush. He's just a little lighter. But his CBS score is 138. Pro Football Focus 148. And this is pick 155. So hopefully he's still there. And we pick him. I think if Anzalone leaves, we're going to need someone to fill in. Other options at this point could be Kyle Lewis from Pitt, but I think he'll be gone. And then Jacob Rodriguez, and we have another Rodrigo out of Texas Tech. But he's more of a middle linebacker. So speed is not going to be his forte. He's a bigger guy. He's got a little more meat on him, but for running sideline to sideline, which is what we already got Jack Campbell, we already got Derek Barnes. If Anzalone leaves or if he stays, this guy would be an extra chess piece. His comps are to Christian Harris and Barrett Carter, a couple of pretty good linebackers that went out in the draft a couple of years back. All right, for the 5th round, we have a comp. So here's where we kind of fill in that last potential hole. Let's say it's a potential hole because we don't know what the Detroit Lions have planned at center. The center class looks fairly good, but once again, drafting centers in the first round. there's only a couple that have gone. Frank Ragnow, there was a guy who played for Dallas for a while that he was a first round center. Most centers go in the maybe the second, maybe the third round and back. So the guy that I have the Lions taking in the 5th round is Logan Jones, a center out of Iowa. He's 6'3", 302, runs a 4.940. The pros of this guy is he has a basketball background. He's got that tight end speed. He squats 700 pounds. He's a nasty run blocker. He's a relentless blocker. Good work ethic. Got the brains. And that's what you need from a center. You need someone who's, not easily confused by things. And he's versatile enough to play guard. So once again, say Ragnow comes back. Say Glasgow can come back. Put him at guard. Then let him ease in the center. If you want to take Ratledge at center, maybe he can be your backup. He can learn, and he can play some guard. So that's what you want. Position flexibility. Now the cons for this guy is he's got inconsistent hand placement, and he needs refinement in pass protection. He just needs something. He needs to need a little work, and he may need some more mass. Maybe get up to like 320 or 315. But CBS ranking has him at 132. Pro Football Focus has him at 176. Other options are Parker Brailsford out of Alabama, Connor Tollison out of Missouri, Pat Coogan out of Indiana, and Bryce Foster out of Kentucky. In his comps, he compares to Jared Wilson and Zach Tom. So pretty good comps there for Mr. Logan Jones. Our next pick is if David Montgomery leaves, and I hope he does not. And we have Sion Vaki, and we have other running backs, Jacob Sailors. But this guy here, if Montgomery leaves, I think he's a Montgomery type. His name is Mike Washington, running back out of Arkansas. 6'2", 228 pounds, 4.45 40. The pros about him, he's got good size and speed. He's a one-cut downhill runner. And that's what you need opposite Gibbs. He is not rated by CBS, and Pro Football Focus has him at 141. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in 2025 as, the main running back, but we would have him as a part of a tandem, which is what we do. He's got stiff hips that lead to less elusiveness, and he's got kind of poor balance, and he sometimes has cases of fumbleitis, and he needs work on pass protection. That's most running backs coming out, but that can be taught. Other options at this point are Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State, Katron Allen out of Penn State, and Le'Veon Moss out of Texas A&M. So that's our pick at 186. Mike Washington, running back out of Arkansas. Next pick, round 6, number 203. Now, you guys are going to love this one. Now, here's my philosophy on playing football. When you practice for a team, on your scout team, you need someone who can emulate the guy, the weapon on the other team. And so, say the Lions are going to play Washington Commanders, right? Who do we have that can emulate their quarterback? Or we're going to play the Green Bay. Who do we have that can emulate Jordan Love or Caleb Williams from Chicago? Who do we have that can play that on the scout defense? Probably nobody. What I feel about that, I think you should always kind of try to get a backup that can emulate that role. I remember hearing stories of there's one quarterback, and he would emulate the quarterback of the other team because he was a dual threat, and it was a pretty good idea. So I have the Detroit Lions taking TAYLEN Green, quarterback out of Arkansas. So 2 Arkansas players at the same time, or in the same draft. 6'6", 235 pounds, 23 years old, 4.4 40, 35-inch arms, or arm length, and 10-inch hands. The pros for this guy is super athletic, dual threat, made Bruce Feldman's freak list. He had a 43.5 triple jump. He ran 23 miles per hour in high school. He's got a great arm, a great deep ball. He's got very accurate. He maintains his downfield vision, which is hard on the move. And he's good under pressure, they say. The cons for him is the inconsistent in completion percentage, and he's still learning to go through his progression, and so he has that potential. The comps to this guy are Jalen Milroe and Anthony Richardson. Both have rocket arms. Both are big, strong guys. Final pick in the 2026 draft, unless they come up with some more, is Tight end, R.J. Maryland. R.J. Maryland is the son of Russell Maryland, the devastating defensive tackle who he devastated offenses for years. This is his son. 6'4", 240 pounds out of Southern Methodist University. Now, 6'4", 240, not that big. However, I mean, I have to say, I'm assuming that the dog that's in his dad is the dog that's in the son because, I mean, that stuff hopefully is hereditary. Hopefully. And he seems to be more of a jump ball specialist at this point. But put some size on him. He only caught like 230 yards worth of passing, I think. So he's not like going to be like, give me the ball, give me the ball. If we put some size on him, we can turn him into a blocking tight end that can actually catch and that can actually run, which is what, I mean, like I said, right now, these guys are either one or the other. Most of them are pass-catching tight ends. They're not as much blocking. A couple of them are both. You want a tight end who can do both. And I think this guy could become one. And so he's kind of a luxury pick because we have Laporta. But, other tight ends, Zylstra and people like that, they're more like, they're better split out. They're not as much for blocking in line. And then having a tight end that can block is going to help our run game for sure because they can double team some of these defensive ends, chip, scoot out into the flats. There's more options you can do, especially if you're going to run that two tight end setup. So once again, at SMU, 27 receptions, 322 yards. Not a big baller. That's okay. We want someone who can come in and block. And hopefully I've covered the Lions' needs. This is Detroit Damon, 2026 draft, rounds 5 through 7. Signing off. Peace.